Thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. As you know, we've got a different guest for you every week, somebody important in the community. This is brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. This is show number 3 in our series with Jeff and Bob Shore. We call it the Shore Family Football Legacy because you guys have been running the football show at Camdenton for almost 50 years now. So in our last show, we talked about going to your first state championship game in 1977, losing it by 1 point. And even though it was a loss on the scoreboard, it was kind of a win for the program because it vaulted you guys into what was to come, in the next few decades ahead. So in 3 years, because you took over in 75, in 3 years you had taken the program to the state championship game. You're growing up, you're watching this, you're saying this is greatness, right? I want to do that. And then you started playing for your dad on the football team as a sophomore, as a receiver. And you guys were ranked number 1 that year, but you got beat in the playoffs.
Got beat in the playoffs, and that was rough, tough one to take, 3-0 in a mud bath, and on a dry field. I don't think it had been a close ball game. I think you'd agree with that.
Would have kicked their butts. Where was this play?
It was at home. It was
here?
At home. Yeah,
okay.
It was not a good night. So, but anyway, that kept us hungry, and so the next year we ended up going all the way to the state championship game and playing at Arrowhead Stadium for the state title.
Really?
Yeah.
As a sophomore,
as a junior. As a junior. I moved over to quarterback. We had a good bunch of skill guys and a good bunch of linemen, really good class together there with the seniors. They had a bunch of good players as well. We really fit well together, and had a great time playing. I enjoyed playing for him. I'm not sure he enjoyed coaching me sometimes. I do remember one time during my stint, we always called the play they'd bring the play in from the sideline, and back in those days, we were under center and the plays were pretty wordy, and so you'd have to get the play out and you never audibled or changed anything. And I remember one game he did give me permission. We'd set this thing up, and if you see this defense, you can audible to this certain pass player. Well, I happen to be seeing that defense a lot, so we audible a lot. So after about the 4th touchdown pass, he pulled me aside and said, "No more audibles." So that was about the extent of the only time I didn't do exactly what we needed to get done there. So it was great playing for him. The best thing was he treated me like everybody else. So. You had to watch it.
So you played for the state championship as a junior, and you got to play at Arrowhead.
Played at Arrowhead.
What was that like going into Arrowhead?
Once again, like we've talked about in the previous shows, it's something you remember in your mind's eye. I remember running out behind that purple haze flag, that we carried out. Sean Watts was carrying it, and seeing all the crowd. It was a beautiful day. One of the prettier states. And had a fantastic crowd there. I mean, unbelievable. And I remember the sound of the cheers as we run out of that tunnel and get ready to play. And it was an extremely exciting game. Oddly enough, we tied for the state championship.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, after that, you couldn't. I think they changed the rule.
They changed the rule after that. At that time, since we were playing in Arrowhead and we would play multiple games, just like in the Dome.
Yeah.
They said, well, we don't have time to have a playoff or it'll get too late.
Right. Push the other game back.
Yeah. And so they just elected to make them both state champions.
Well, that's great.
Which is not, you know it before you go in the game. So there's no shocker, and if you want to do something about it, you can go for 2 the first time.
That's true.
So if that's really bothering you.
Heck, I'm okay being a state champion with a tie.
It was a very odd feeling, though, but it's still very, very. It's still a good feeling.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And especially the way we did it. We were down 20-12 with a couple minutes left in the game, and came back and scored.
Who were you playing?
Marshall,
Missouri. Lance Dye had a couple of great catches on
great
some balls.
Receiver, still around town.
Still around town.
Yeah.
Chiropractor in town. He actually that game he set the record for the longest touchdown reception in a championship game. I think he had the record for the most receiving yards for a long time. So he had some great catches. Rod Burnell scored the touchdown, and then we got the 2-point conversion. Matter of fact, we ran a 44 counter pass, 7-1 split and curl was the play, and Par Pitts, who's coaching for me now, is a longtime coach and played for us. He was the right guard on the play and pulled out and got the key kick-out block, and I was fortunate enough to get him for the 2-point conversion to tie the game. So
wow.
It was an interesting game. And that game, oddly enough, ended with them on the 1-inch line with 1 second left and no timeouts. They caught a Hail Mary and made them and oddly enough on that, they had called 2 timeouts on the ensuing kickoff. We got ready to kick the ball off with approximately a minute left in the game. And they had 12 men on the field and got called timeout and got down there and tried to get it corrected and went off the field and still had 12 men and had to call a second timeout.
Wow.
And the game ended with them. They caught a Hail Mary pass on the 1-inch line.
Oh.
And 1 second, you got to be set for more than a second
Yeah.
to get the playoffs. So that's where the game ended.
Oh my gosh. And what year was that?
1986.
86. Yep. Okay. So a state championship in 86. Was that the first state championship that you'd won?
Correct.
Wow. So you got to win Camdenton's first state championship together.
We did.
How cool is that? Honestly, this is greatness here. So this is the Shore Family Football Legacy, and this is just show number 3. We're doing a series of shows, so be watching for them all with Jeff and Bob Shore, and we'll have more right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Laurie opening in spring of 2022. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. We are doing a series with the Shores, Jeff and Bob Shore, the Shore Family Football Legacy, 50 years of you guys running the football program over there at Camdenton. So in this is the 3rd show in the series. If you haven't seen 1 and 2, you can see that here on Lake TV at some point, or probably you can go on the computer on that YouTube thing and see it there. So we're talking though when Jeff was playing for Bob, started as a sophomore, as a receiver, moved to quarterback your junior year, won a state championship your junior year at Arrowhead Stadium, and then senior year, what happens the senior year?
Well, we win us another one.
You get another one. You guys won back to back?
Yeah, that's not too bad a deal.
Wow.
So, we were really hungry after that junior year, and a lot of those seniors, we were a really close team. So we wanted to go back and win another one to kind of make sure those seniors got doubled up.
Sure.
Understood.
Well, and
that,
to
we were the
solidify,
guys. Yeah.
last year it was
Right.
just a tie.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
So, that was to their credit as well. They were a really tight team. So that was a lot of fun. The problem with that year was we only had 8 regular season games because you couldn't find anybody to play.
Couldn't get games.
Yeah, games.
Scheduling was
Yeah.
difficult. And that was the hardest thing I had during my tenure was scheduling ball games when you're
Finding
independent.
somebody to play.
Well, you played. If you're scheduling the games and football, basketball, and everything's the athletic director, you're starting out from scratch. In the conference, you've got right now you don't even have scheduled football; it's done for you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for 10 ball games.
Yeah.
You're
out there begging people to play it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they don't really want to play you because you're the state champs.
And that's not conducive to them in the point system, which that changed in '88. They went to district assignment football.
Yeah.
I think Jeff said it best whenever you talked about that tie. When we started the next year, he made the quote that it feels like we've got some unfinished business.
Mm-hmm. That was your quote?
That was my quote.
Hey,
So I
see,
guess it was all right.
You had the quips from early on, man.
And that season was a great season. It had a culminated by a semifinal game. We were down 21-10 with 7 minutes to go in the game, and it was looking kind of bleak, and against Chillicothe, who had never lost a home playoff game, and we'd beat them real bad the year before in the semifinals. And We ended up hitting a deep touchdown pass to Travis Ezard, who's my brother-in-law now, by the way.
Yeah,
related.
wow.
And so the defense made a great stand, and then we ended up scoring on fourth and 1 from the 1 to win that ball game right there at the end.
And that was the championship game?
Semifinal game
Oh, that
to
was
get
a
the
semifinal.
championship game.
At Chillicothe.
At Chillicothe. And then also interesting, we played St. Louis Sumner in the state championship game, and they went on, if my memory serves me correct, the information I've got had 6 guys that had played at some point in time or tryouts in the NFL.
Wow.
So very talented team, and we played very well and won the game. And
How
won
bad
it
you beat
for
them
him.
in the championship?
Oh, I don't even remember.
It was
12, maybe something like that.
23 to 14.
23 to 14.
23-14.
So the semifinal against Chillicothe was tougher than the championship.
Well, it was still a tough game,
Well,
championship game. We just
They had,
played pretty well.
you know, they had Sumner had a tremendous amount of athletes. A kid that went ahead and played for the 49ers, coached over at SBU.
Ricky Dixon, maybe defensive back.
Daryl
Yeah.
in the picture anyway.
Darnell Walker.
Darnell Walker,
Darnell
yeah,
Walker.
played for 49ers.
Played for the Falcons.
10 or 12
Really?
years.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
there's some talent.
Yeah, they had.
They had some
several
good talent.
very-
They were a good football team. They had a well-coached football team. Lawrence Wells was their coach, and it was a hard football game. We played a good ball game, really outstanding football as a team.
Yeah, you must have. Yeah. So what is it that you remember most about coaching Jeff?
Well, Jeff was easy to coach because he's very competitive. And sometimes, I have seen this, and of course I looked into it, and father-sons struggle coaching. And,
Yeah, it can be tough.
Jeff's coached both his kids, got one here at the last. So, sometimes you look into that. Well, there's no question I treated him just like everybody else. I mean, that's the only way you can do it. But there's an age-old saying, and it's certainly true in football, I treat everybody fair, but I don't necessarily treat everybody equal.
Right. There's a difference.
Well, there is a difference.
Yeah.
Fair is fair, but when you got a young man is putting everything he's got, has never been hurt, and now he's got an injury. That's not his case. He didn't have one, fortunately. But Jeff was a good athlete, as witnessed by the fact he still holds track records on school records in track, and was second in the hurdles in the state, and baseball and other sports that other coaches coached him in. So that wasn't too difficult. And all athletes are different, but as a quarterback, the thing you could do with Jeff, because he had speed, and he had ability to scramble with the speed, and he had it's a little bit natural, backyard stuff, ability to look downfield.
Yeah.
So if you coach him to take the steps and put the ball and get him into this position and now play, say, where some guys,
easy, yeah.
some guys you get in this position and okay, you've got your out read, you got your curl read, and if one of those is not there, you're in trouble. And you probably won't get out of trouble.
Right.
But in his case, and other athletes I've had too, quarterbacks, Zach Franklin, Matt Brock, others, Daniel Edson, very good at that. You get him to a point and let him use his ability.
Yeah.
So that's
Some people
basically
just have it.
Yeah.
You
And
get
some
used to
people just
hearing.
don't.
You get used to hearing. No. Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the basketball coach. Oh, no. Yeah, good shot. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I heard a lot of that.
But one of the things you have to realize about football that's different is you could take any of our athletes, the really good athletes, the Brad Bowles, Lance Dyes, Travis Ezards, Sean Machino's, good football player, any of these guys. Tim McDuffie is a line. You put them on the team we're playing against, and there's probably not going to be any difference in the score. Jeff Shore, too, all of them. Because it's such an epitome of a team game.
Yeah.
And so Jeff was a good athlete, which showed quickly in track with the speed and the competitiveness and not the work ethic to like to play, the passion to like to play.
Right.
I've often said when I see guys say, I've got to go work on my game this spring, forget it. You want those guys to say, man, we get to go play some ball.
Yeah. There's a huge loving to compete.
Yeah, loving to
love
play.
to compete.
If I get enough guys to play a game.
So
now,
we're out of time for this show already, but we've got plenty more of these shows to come. This is a series called The Shore Family Football Legacy, 50 years of Shore football in Camdenton. Jeff and Bob Shore, thanks guys for joining us. Don't miss the next episode coming up right here on Lake TV.